Hello, hello, and welcome to Destiny Chiropractic. Thank you for watching this very short video before we start care here at the practice. My name is Destiny. Yes, that's my real name. No, I'm not a DJ. Yes, it's on my passport. Yes, I have a child. And yes, my parents were hippies. So now we got that cleared up. Been a chiropractor for about 25 years. I work very, very differently to other chiropractors and physios and osteopaths that you may have come across in the past. So I just want to use this short video just to make an introduction to me and the way I work, my intentions and my philosophy. So I think it all begins here. Oh, it's a bit bent, sorry. This is the egg, this is the sperm. When they come together, a little spark happens. We don't know really what that spark is, but we think it is a life force energy. It could be an electricity, it could be an act of God, it could be a universal intelligence. So, but something happens here, and what then happens is that sparks off cells dividing. So cells divide, and eventually a little nubbin is formed. That nubbin becomes your brain, and off of the brain, a little tail comes along, and that is your spinal cord. And not forgetting the brain stem. He's a really important little guy, that little brain stem up there. So we have the brain stem, and the spinal cord. This is the main messaging system. Off of the spinal cord comes along lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of nerves. They branch off and 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 supply all sorts of stuff. I'm just going to show you that right now. There we are. They supply branching. Loads come off of the brainstem as well, by the way, because that bit is responsible for all your balance mechanisms, how you sort of perceive the world, your mood, all kinds of stuff, your five senses. So this comes along, and loads of nerves at the top, and then loads and loads of nerves down at the bottom here as well. Some of these nerves supply the musculoskeletal system, and that is why I see the majority of people is that they come in here with some kind of ache or pain, or feeling tight somewhere and some discomfort. So, but what we forget actually is all of these nerves also supply all of this stuff. So actually only 17% of the nervous system supplies your musculoskeletal system. 83% supplies all of this other stuff, all of your organs, all of your immune system, your whole kind of anti-inflammatory system, your autoimmune system, all the glands, your heartbeat, all of these things that we take for granted all the time. We don't know what half of this stuff is doing most of the time, and we don't go to bed and think, right, heart, you better make sure you beat 47 times a minute, and then by the way, digestive system, you make sure you do that, and then by the way, kidney, you make sure you do that, and thyroid gland, make sure you only just put out this much of that hormone. We don't have to think of any of that, right? So all of this is going on behind the scenes, but actually it's this part that alerts us that something's not right. So actually when you come in here and you have an alert that something's not right, your body is trying to tell you something's not right and you need to fix it. And guess what? You can. All you need is the right environment. So what can happen is our environment is very, very stressful. This can affect these nerves. So when we have stress, physical, chemical, emotional, and some would even say spiritual, a lot of us are asking what it's all about right now, that can affect the nervous system. So if we have some physical stress, for example, even the act of being born is actually quite a sort of stressful physical kind of thing. You often need medical intervention, and it's sort of like your head gets pulled a little bit. Chemical stress, well, we all know booze and coffee and fags and all this kind of stuff, and even in our environment, stuff we're not in control of. Emotional stress, we all have families and stuff, everything's stressful, and we've got quite a lot of stress going on right now. So even things like sitting at the moment, we've got this physical stress going on, a lot of us sitting around in the house a lot more than we normally would do, and so we're kind of, we're putting a lot of pressure in through our nervous system and our spine. What can happen is that will tighten the nervous system a little bit and tighten these nerves, and it can pull some of the vertebrae off kilter a little bit and put pressure onto the spinal cord and the brainstem. This is obviously not a good thing, because this is what tends to happen, is that you get all these little misfiring or sort of some pressure on there, which means they're not firing enough. And then the messaging system, which is the brain talking to the body and the body talking to the brain really nicely, can go a little bit skew-if. So my job as a chiropractor is I come along and I decide what parts of your spine and what parts of your body need to be realigned and sort of taking the pressure off and the stress off to make sure that the nervous system is doing this, which is what we want it to do. Nice, clean messaging. Because what will happen is that will affect your, not only the pain or the discomfort that you've come in with, but also it can affect other things like the organs I've mentioned and all kinds of, health benefits. A lot of people say they sleep better. A lot of people say they concentrate better. A lot of people say that their digestion is better. I can't obviously claim any of those things. We never know what's going to happen, but sometimes we get some really good benefits from just kind of making sure that this is all aligned and doing well. So the way I do that is I actually put a little gentle pressure through the spine and nervous system, and what that does is it stimulates the nervous system and gives it a little bit of an input and a little bit of a message. Then what you do with that message is actually the healing. So all you need to do is just chill out and let your body do the work. So this can take a little bit of time sometimes to achieve the goals that we're after, and in my next video I'll show you exactly what I mean by that. I'll see you soon.